now to things that don't matter as much. Let's talk about politics. And as you know, the Labor Party is in dire straits at the moment. I don't believe the 50-50 news poll. I believe the opinion polls that say not even half of all people support Anthony Albanese as their leader. But Labor is getting desperate. And they're getting desperate to put any slur whatsoever to change the subject in Canberra from their woes, from their agenda. And there is an example of this that I do not want to let slide. It happened today when the shadow Home Affairs Minister, the lady who, yes, we poke fun at for constantly failing upwards, Kristina Keneally, was on this network to talk about, among other things, far-right terrorism. Now, on this program, we have been very clear to tell you that there is a huge amount of work that intelligence services are doing right now on far right-wing extremism. It needs to be dealt with just as virulently as any other form of violence which is linked to beliefs. But the statement that was made today by the person who would like to be in charge of the Home Affairs portfolio today exposes just how low politics can go. This was said today by Kristina Keneally about the Prime Minister and Peter Dutton about why they aren't doing enough on right-wing extremism.
We have not yet had a proper conversation the extent to which Brenton Tarrant, the Christchurch shooter, an Australian, was radicalised in this country. ASIO has been upfront with the community to say that this is a serious national security threat, and yet Scott Morrison and Peter Dutton have downplayed, dismissed and sought to ignore this growing national security threat.
Now, you know that's bullshit. But think about the not-so-subtle dog whistle that she is sending, is that somehow the Prime Minister and the Home Affairs Minister, by not doing enough, by not saying enough, are somehow tacitly approving of this radicalisation. That's where politics can get. When you are so desperate to change the subject that you will say anything about your political opponents. But we have hit a particular low when we are willing to say about our political opponents that they are somehow terrorist adjacent, that they are somehow down with what is happening, that our security services, who of course work with and for the government, are being very public about what's going on. Now, there isn't a person in this country who does not want maximum focus on anyone who seeks to do us harm. But it says a lot about the culture of parts of our political discussion when something like that can just so effortlessly fall out of the mouth of somebody who wants to be in charge of the very security services that in part she is bagging.